Before we dive in, I want all Fever fans to smash that like button. We are so close to our 1,000 strong Fever family. Let's start the video. Fever lose their defensive anchor and fans are heartbroken. Oh no! The Indiana Fever are trailing by 17 when disaster strikes. Bria Hartley drives to the basket, Sophie Cunningham steps in to help, and then, boom! A violent collision. Sophie crumbles, clutching her right knee, her face twisted in pain. And in that moment, the entire arena goes silent. Fans knew right away, this wasn't just a bruise. This wasn't just a knock. It looked bad. It looked season-ending. The second the clip hit social media, Fever fans lost it. Because Sophie wasn't just another player, she was the heartbeat of the defense, the protector of Caitlin Clark, the one who played with grit and fire every single night. And now, she might be done. The injury happened against the Connecticut Sun. And here's the cruel part. It's the second time Sophie has been injured against the same team this season. Almost like lightning striking twice, only this time, the consequences feel so much worse. Sophie immediately grabbed her kneecap, screaming in agony. Trainers rushed in. Teammates huddled around, hands on heads, some even holding back tears. For fans watching at home, it was one of those moments where your heart just sinks. You could feel the shock ripple across the court. The Fever bench looked stunned. Caitlin Clark stood frozen, staring as if realizing how much her team had just lost in a single play. And here's where the emotion really hits. Sophie Cunningham was finally finding her stride. Since the All-Star break, she'd been averaging double figures, shooting lights out, and becoming the emotional anchor on a team that desperately needed toughness. She wasn't the loudest star, but she was the one who did the dirty work, diving for loose balls, taking charges, standing up to bigger opponents. For Caitlin Clark fans, Sophie was more than just a scorer. She was the protector, the enforcer, the big sister who refused to let opponents take cheap shots at Caitlin. So when Sophie went down, fans weren't just scared for her future. They were devastated for Caitlin too. Let's be clear. This injury isn't just about Sophie Cunningham. It's about what she represented to the Fever. She was their defensive anchor. She was their emotional spark. She was the only player who consistently stood between Caitlin and the physical punishment that opponents threw at her. Sophie's toughness set the tone. When she was on the floor, the Fever played with confidence. She brought edge to a team that often felt too young, too inexperienced, too easily rattled. Now she's gone. And for a team that's already lost Sydney Colson, Ari McDonald, and dealt with Caitlin's own nagging injuries, this feels like the final straw. It's like pulling the soul out of the defense. The body can keep moving, but it won't have the same fight. Fans are asking, how much more can this team take? How many punches can one season throw before it finally breaks the Fever completely? And here's where the conversation turns ugly. Because just like with Caitlin, fans are furious with how the league and referees have handled things. This wasn't just bad luck. Sophie has been taking hits all season. She plays tough. She defends hard, and yet time after time the officiating lets reckless contact slide. Sound familiar? It's the same story Caitlin Clark fans have been screaming about for months. Cheap shots ignored, dangerous plays overlooked. And now once again, it's a Fever player paying the price with their body. It almost feels like the league doesn't protect its stars. And not just Caitlin, but the players who stand beside her too. The WNBA wants to market Caitlin Clark's stardom. They want her to bring the ratings. But what good are ratings if her teammates are being knocked out one by one? Sophie Cunningham's injury is not just a setback for her. It's a warning sign for the league. If you don't protect the players, if you don't call the reckless fouls, you're not just risking games. You're risking careers. The reaction online was immediate and emotional. Fans flooded social media with heartbreak, prayers, and rage. Some pointed out how unfair it is that the same team, Connecticut, has now injured Sophie twice. Others questioned why the Fever coaching staff has failed to protect their players. Some fans even called it the end of the Fever season, and many, they simply expressed sadness for Caitlin because without Sophie by her side, Caitlin loses her shield, her fighter, the one teammate who always had her back. You could feel the frustration in every post. How much more can Caitlin take? How much more can Fever fans endure? For supporters who've rallied around Caitlin and Sophie all season, this felt personal. It wasn't just about basketball. It was about watching the women who carried their team get knocked down again and again. Here's the painful truth. One injury just changed the entire outlook of the Fever season. Their playoff hopes, fading. Their defensive identity, shattered. Their chemistry with Caitlin at the center, broken. Because when you lose a player like Sophie Cunningham, you don't just lose points or rebounds, you lose heart. And for a young star like Caitlin Clark, who's already carrying the weight of the league on her shoulders, that's devastating. Think about it. Caitlin has already faced enormous pressure as the face of women's basketball. Every arena she enters, the spotlight follows. Every possession she touches, cameras flash. And now, the one teammate who consistently protected her, the one who pushed back when opponents got physical, is gone. What does that mean for Caitlin? It means she's more exposed, it means she's more vulnerable, and it means every game moving forward is going to feel even heavier. So now the questions pile up. Will Sophie's injury end her season? Can the Fever recover without their emotional leader? And most importantly, will Caitlin Clark now be left even more vulnerable? Because let's be real, without Sophie, every opponent now sees an open invitation. Caitlin is the target. She's the prize. And the Fever just lost their best line of defense. The truth is, this isn't just about losing a player, it's about losing belief. Sophie represented toughness, resilience, and a refusal to back down. Without her, can the Fever find that same spirit? Or will they collapse under the weight of adversity? One play, one collision, one knee injury. And just like that, everything changes for Sophie Cunningham, Caitlin Clark, and the entire Indiana Fever. This wasn't just about basketball. It was about heart, grit, and a player who poured everything into protecting her team. Sophie Cunningham didn't just play defense. She gave the Fever an identity. And losing that is painful in ways the box score can never explain.